This video and hundreds more like it available on freephotoshopvideotutorials.com. Now we'll cover another topic in color adjustment, which is the ability to change specific colors inside of an image. So you can change the color of, there's an apple, you can change the apple to a different color, and just that apple alone and so forth. So we'll have a look at what you can do with that, and that's with the use of the hue and saturation tool. So in this case of this image here, what I like to do is change the color of this blue pickup truck. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use an adjustment layer. Now the tool, as I said, is hue and saturation, and you can always do this by going to Image, Adjustment, and Hue and Saturation. The only problem with this is that once you actually make your modifications and you turn this to whatever color you wanted it to be, you click OK, and that'll be it. I mean, it's just if you change your mind and you want to put a different color in the pickup truck, then you're going to have to go through the whole process again. The reason for using an adjustment layer is that is specifically because, as the name implies, you can just go back in and keep on adjusting it as much as you like. The way we're going to do this is over here, the adjustment layer button. We're going to click on hue and saturation, and here we are. Now, the way to change specific colors in hue and saturation is to actually, if you click on here on the edit and master, you have all these different colors fields, and we're going to be changing the blue, but ideally then we're going to be selecting the blues from here. But just to show you here, if we just select on reds for a minute, we have our eyedropper here, and if we select the blue with the eyedropper here, it's already changing to the appropriate color that you need to be editing. So don't need to be worrying about which one of these these colors you're going to be changing. Just click with the eyedropper and it will select the color of this blue. Now if you want to make sure that you're getting more of the variations of this blue, for example, this is a very pale blue, this is a lot more of a richer blue, then click on the plus here with the eyedropper and make sure that you select a few variations on that color, making sure that that's all being selected. And now what you can do is just change the hue of that, and you'll see that you're changing the color of the pickup truck. Now, just to make sure that you're making the right selection, a really good way to make sure that you're just selecting just the color of the pickup truck here and nothing else is to go into saturation, just whack that up 100%, and you get something that is completely, just super saturated, and you'll be able to spot the obvious bits here. Now, we're obviously selecting the correct colors of the pickup truck, but we're also selecting a little bit here in the part of the house here. Now, if we go back to the saturation being 0, and we play around with the hue, you can't really see here much of the color being changed. I mean, it's just very slight. So we're okay with that. With that selection, we're not changing the color of the flowers or of the grass and so forth. So we got away with that. And now what we can do is just really concentrate and see which color it is that we like this pickup truck. And I think a nice red tint to this would actually look quite nice. So if we move it along to about here, make it look very nice and vintage. Obviously, you can play around with certain things such as the saturation. I think I'll just leave it at 0. And also you can play around with the lightness of it if you want to make it very dark, and obviously just a black pickup truck. And the lightness will just make it a very, very light. It keeps on adding white to the color, so essentially it becomes a gray as well. So we'll just leave these two fields at 0 here. Click OK. And there we are, we've made our change. And as I've promised with the adjustment layer, all we need to do is just double click on it. There we are. We go back into our blues. We've changed the hue. We can change it again. And we can keep on changing things without basically having to do much after we've made our selection. So it's a very good way to save time, and if you're going to be changing your mind constantly or just trying out different things, go with an adjustment layer. If you enjoyed this video, show your support by subscribing, rating, and adding it to favorites. Leave comments on our website and we'll create even more videos that interest you.